And hello again, folks. It is I, Kamikaze, here to bring you some more glorious world of Danganronpa. Delicious. And, is what we left off at, and thank you, Maki, for joining me in my pathological line.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Excuse me?
Do you want to die?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary. Anyway, Tanko died so suddenly that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tanko wouldn't commit suicide.
Thank goodness, Himiko.
Which means someone definitely killed Tanko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No! There must have been a way! We're gonna figure it out!
We're going to figure it out.
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance? If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Not a bad idea. We should remember what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that will help me solve this mystery. Non-stop debate again. Ah! Sound during seance.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed.
Couldn't resist to see what the lies were.
Perfect, and yet it failed.
I missed?
How utterly strange.
Ah.
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall, I think.
I'm more concerned about how dark it got in there. I mean, it was totally pitch black.
Oh no, don't care what you have to say.
Relight the candles. Moving along the walls was seriously tough.
I don't give a shit what he has to say. It was pitch black during the seance. That limits what could have happened. Blah blah blah. There is a clue. I tried to shoot it.
Out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me.
The fact that the
Seance failed.
The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed.
No, it wasn't. That's... It wasn't. There was a sound. I'm gonna have to go and agree with her then, because this guy's a moron.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, and yet it failed.
And yet it failed.
Strange. Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
Agree!
I agree! Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
That sounded more than something fall. It sounded like someone just jumped through the side of a wall. Literally. Like Gonta trying to get to the bathroom quickly after eating Taco Bell.
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. What could have fallen down?
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Yeah. Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but...
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
A loud sound. Like something hit the floorboards? Maybe that sound had something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark. Huh. Oh, shut up.
Damn it!
Didn't mean to click yet, but I guess it's a cross piece. What about the wall destruction thingy? Yeah, I know. That's what we're trying to figure out what it could have been, right? Sure, why not?
Oh no!
Couldn't resist. I had to choose it. Like, Gaunta came in and killed her. See, there's dried blood under the floor. There's the crosspiece under the floor that's slightly blood. Sickle.
This is it!
Oh no, I selected the thing under the floorboard.
Coming off
I'm
has
an
something
idiot.
to do with that sound. That floorboard came loose at some point during the seance, right?
Would the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact. If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. There would have been a strong impact. There had to have been to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be? ...
All right then, let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
Okay, everyone at the other side of the room and run together. Ah, another non-stop debate. Come on.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard. That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound.
Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might.
We already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
You hardly have any experience with balls to say that, Mew.
Oh.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and Balls are the best of friends?
Let me agree with that. What would have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose? Think about everyone's testimonies, combine it with the facts.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard. That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over. But that statue was still on top of the cage. Culprit hide under floor.
Then stood up with such might.
Oh, I can't agree with that one. Whack.
I was wrong.
Oh, that was
So what
funny
made the
though.
floorboard
Come loose. Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force. Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floorboard. That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over. But that statue was still on top of the cage. Culprit hide under floor. Then stood up with such might. But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floor.
I agree. Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
Odd. I mean, through someone stomped on it. How could someone stomp on it? I mean, wait, was like the sickle attached to the top? No, they would have seen that before putting the cage down. I don't see how that works.
But floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
No.
Someone? You mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
For a magic trick, why else do you think they would have done that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the crosspiece?
What did they stand to gain? That's the question. To solve this case, I need to think carefully about the crosspiece and the floorboard. I mean, if someone were to slam on that while she was under the cage... I don't know, I don't think how that would... Tentaco's body was at one end of the loose floorboard. The way they made it visually look did not look like this. And the crosspiece that had been cut was on the other end of the floorboard, which would allow someone to, like, step down and, like, slam the person up, but I mean... I don't get how they would have gotten the blade and stabby unless they, like, jammed down there, it hit her head, and they reached up and, like, stabbed, and then... The unsupported part was outside of the cage, so it could have been stomped on. Which now, I know that it was on the outside of the cage, but it did not look like that up in the images. Only one of the crosspieces was cut, and the other two were intact. But it looks like they prepared it on every one of the rooms. But wait, couldn't that also shift the entire... Huh. One of them was right under Tenko. What was the culprit attempting to achieve by stomping on the floorboard? Think. Come on. Think. Hangman's Gambit! Gambit! Whoops. See what? There's no I. W-S-A... Nah. I don't get it. E-A-F-W... That's not it either. Excuse me. E-S-F-W-E... Game over! Fuck you, game. Shut up, blah 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 blah. I hate this shit when it does this. Can't tell me game over if the game continues. But yeah, I got C, E, E. Now let me go through these. S, C, Seesaw. Oh my god. Let me get seesaw effect. Once I got that other S in there.
See, this is why I'm really stupid, and you guys love me for it, because I'm a moron.
Used as a seesaw.
Yeah? A seesaw?
The crosspiece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two
Maybe they
crosspieces
tested it
were
before and cut
were
themselves.
close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no crosspiece, the next crosspiece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
So
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
they would have to be so fucking quick with that. They'd have to know where they're landing in the dark. Then they'd have to lift up the sheet, stab with the sickle, and then throw it underneath. I mean, that would be the only way of doing that, right? And even then, it would have shifted. Yeah, it shifted the board when it came back up, but because she didn't change position either. The rock moved farther away when it landed back, but I mean, looking at that, if they did that, they might be able to get the sickle in there and stab. But how do they see in the dark? Are they guessing? They guess they hit their person?
Her whole body lifted up?
Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that. Unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
Okay, we got that now.
Huh? How?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
The floorboard seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There's only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. On top of the cage when the... oh my... No.
That's it!
No way.
The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down.
So what they did was they stuck it in there and then jumped on the board, causing her to slam into the sickle.
It was Kyo. There's no other way, because he insisted that it be done in the reverse order. So when he took off the fabric, he threw the sickle under the floorboards through the gap that existed.
The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place. It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble. But the statue's weight kept it from falling over. Once everything was in place, if you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage.
And that would be why there was no sound from her.
She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
And Kyo was the only one to mess with the sheet, which means that he would have been able to tell if there was a sickle there or not, and remove the sickle at the same time.
the 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouch position.
They didn't care who they got. He was trying to get Himiko, from what I'm understanding.
But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, it could compensate for the blade's length.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim.
That still doesn't guarantee a completely accurate hit, though.
That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
Don't sound so happy about it.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
Which now brings up the aspect that it could be anyone in the room, except for Himiko, because the force required would require a heavier person. Not that much because of the whole, leverage thing, but still.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
Without messing with the circle. I mean, how did they get that indication of where it was?
That impact make floorboard come loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
Well, right now, not as crazy as you.
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know? They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box. Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed.
Please
Well
tell me it was
played,
him.
Himiko.
Himiko?
Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Huh? Why her?
Because she's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
How? She was willing to go in there, and Tenko offered to go into place unless she planned that. Then how would she have done it anyway?
Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand.
Mister,
By
I've
putting
studied
the
it.
crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean?
Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
Honestly, it's a load of shit. If Dipshit, the pathological liar, did end up running into the same problem in the other room, then someone prepared all the rooms for whichever one gets selected, which would be you, Kyo. Freaking psychopath. Yeah, so I'm putting my bet on Kyo for the murder of Tenko. When it comes to Angie, still have no fucking clue, but I'll go with it later.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow.
You were quite vocal about the seance, Kyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time.
With magic!
Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room.
Didn't he ask which room you should use, and then she replied, which means that it wouldn't have mattered because he was prepped for all of them, and he just wanted a scapegoat for when something happened.
She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
No.
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right? He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko? I killed Tenko?
Himiko?
What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea, but does that mean Himiko really killed Tenko? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel. Intermission! Yay, would you like to say it? There it is. I knew I was going to say it. Let's see, we go. Boop.
And now, I'm going to call this just so we start fresh with a new one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one of Danganronpa.